Were you transported to Sherwood Forest? Or was it the Deep South? Where a lion prince abused a snake and a fox and his vixen said, but didn't really show they loved each other? Did Robin Hood and Little John endanger you and everyone around you with their hijinks? Did this children's movie indoctrinate you as a libertarian who believes all taxes must be going toward enriching the wealthy by the antics of cartoon animals? If so, you may have just been hardwired to become a furry in the Unkind Rewind, where we saw the 1973 animated feature, Robin Hood.
Thrill me.
I'm gonna name you Kodo. You get a name too, Podo.
His name is Happy Harry Hardon. He's a total sex maniac.
Of course.
Greetings from St. Paul, where I, Josh Duggan, have been sent to debtor's prison for being a farthing shy on the latest tax levied to actually fund King Richard's latest crusade. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Sean McGrath. Sean, did you have your stork disguise ready to elude the Prince's Guard?
Yeah, that disguise was way better than just hood and sunglasses, which they couldn't tell. I love how they could tell it was Robin Hood from the stork disguise. But yeah, they couldn't see if he had sunglasses on. I'm doing okay. I got my leg chains on. No visible bathroom. I'm hanging out in debtor's prison with you.
Okay.
Way in the black. And
In the red.
Oh yeah, thank you. I'm in the red.
Yeah.
And hoping somebody comes through with some gold chains or some gold coins to get me back even, Steven.
Right on. On the line this week, we are joined by indie filmmaker Nick D'Agostino. Nick, have you been regaling your new neighbors on the street with cheers of Oodalali these past few days?
Hell yeah, I've been oodalaliing all day and night, posted up in Sherwood Forest with the homie Friar Tuck.
Nice. Nick, why don't you tell the listeners who have no idea why you claim to love Maid Marian because they missed your Q's and T's installment last week a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, I'm Nick D'Agostino, as was recently mentioned. Indie filmmaker in Austin for almost a decade, recently up in New York City, doing a little bit of filmmaking, a little bit of social work, and a little bit of comedy. And yeah, I love this movie. I've loved this Robin Hood movie maybe since I was like 10 years old. Probably has been since then, since I watched it. I've probably seen it 500 times, but I was a little hazy on some of the details. So this was a good refresh.
Right on.
And yeah, I got to say, it mostly held up for me, but we can get into that.
Oh, sure.
500
You've got
times. We have the nephew of Michael Eisner with us today.
I wouldn't be an indie filmmaker if I was the nephew of Michael Eisner, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think
Sure, right.
Uncle Mike might have written you a check by now.
Yeah. So you're not a Nepo baby is what you're saying.
No relation to the D'Agostino grocery store, no relation to the Eisner family, just a regular guy.
Okay. So you've got a new feature that's in the can. Why don't you tell everybody about that?
Thank you for the cue for my plug. Yeah, Justice the movie, my newest feature that I wrote and directed and also act in, is shot, edited. We are waiting on some festivals, but it should be available on streaming hopefully the end of this year, early next year would be the goal. But yeah, watch this in all spaces for details about that, because you never really know with indie movies, but that is our aim. Early 2026, late 2025.
And Nick, besides just being a Nepo baby, what advice would you give to those young indie filmmakers out there? Like that you could impart some of your wisdom you've gained over the years.
Well, if you want advice on like how to get your movie funded or how to get paid to make movies or how to have any sort of success that you can tell your parents about. I'm not really your guy.
Gotcha.
But if you want to make creative output with your friends that you can be really proud of, the advice I would give you is just keep doing it. I have watched so many speeches and read so many books about how to be an indie filmmaker, how to be creative. There's like a million ways to do it. The only thing I can say that is consistently true is like find people you trust, who you like spending time with, to do it with them, because you cannot make movies alone. It is not painting.
Good advice.
And the less it feels like work, I'd imagine, the better.
Very much so. Yeah. If you don't like doing it, then maybe find a different career. That's okay. There's a lot of really cool careers.
And you do have another feature out there that people can watch. What is that called?
Yeah. So another feature I wrote and directed is called Practically Tropical. That's on YouTube. And then a couple movies that I produced are also up on YouTube. One is Rick Beagle, like Rick, first name, last name, the dog, Beagle. And then Floor Scrapers. So those are also micro budget movies. They're up on YouTube. Really proud of those, actually. So go check them out.
Now, before we delve too far into alternate endings and recycled animation, where can our listeners find you, Nick?
You can find information about my movie at justicethemovie.com. I couldn't believe that URL was free and available. Pretty exciting. And then any social media stuff, I'm really just on Instagram, __bad casino__. Could not have made that harder on myself to say out loud. But yeah, that's it.
We'll have it linked in the show notes so people don't have to search it if they don't want to.
That'd be great.
Like if they want the quick link to it, it'll be in the show notes, along with the link to Justice the Movie and your YouTube channel. So, yeah. So check the show notes, people. All right. Last week, I said that I grew up with an affinity for this film, but that I hadn't seen it in at least 35 years. Sean, what was your history with Robin Hood?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's been a long time. I do think I saw it at a drive-in. And then I must, like the first time when they brought it back to theaters. And then I must have seen this on video, like everybody else, at some point in my childhood. 30 years, though? I mean, it's been a long time. But super familiar. Like,
I mean, I'm not trying to age you out for casting agents, so.
Right. I was pretty familiar with this. I mean, I think because the storyline, I think everybody's kind of familiar with at least the basic Robin Hood premise. But I remember liking it as a kid. I mean, I think prior to this, if you were like, hey, what do you think of Robin Hood? I'd be like, oh yeah, it's great. I probably would have said that.
Yeah, likewise. Nick, how long do you think it had been since you had last seen this?
Probably like 20 years at least.
Okay.
Like I said, yeah, I watched it a lot as a kid, just on repeat, much to the dismay of everyone around me. But yeah, I was surprised at how little I remembered, considering how many times I'd seen it.
That's fun. So, getting into your pre-interview, before we even mentioned what movie from your list we were doing, you talked about making your family watch Robin Hood and The Lion King all the time. Did this take you back to those times where the family was maybe begrudgingly watching with you?
Yeah, I told my mom, and she just texted me back, all caps, OMG, exclamation point. Yeah, it did take me back. It was like, yeah, watching it was definitely like going in a time capsule a little bit, back to a simpler time when I didn't know about current events.
Yeah. Okay, so we asked you, getting the first clip we'll throw to, we asked you what you remember the plot of Robin Hood being.
My God, I'd be honored. So there's a fox who's like the coolest guy in town. He lives in the forest with his big bear friend, and they just kind of bop around, stealing from the lion, who's the prince who sucks his thumb. And then there's like a wolf. The wolf is the sheriff of Nottingham. It's just the best telling of Robin Hood that's ever been committed to film. And he's just like a cool ass fox bopping around, shooting arrows perfectly, falling in love with Maid Marian. A total babe as far as cartoon animals are concerned, like a lovely young woman. Yeah, just kind of saving the day.
Pretty solid recall. Were you surprised at how little you talked about plot while still more or less summing up the whole film in 35 seconds?
Yeah, rewatching it, it was cool to see that there was no plot to the movie at all, except that taxes are bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of an easy movie to summarize because not that much really happens. And I mean that, I think, in a complimentary way.
Yeah, it's definitely a series of moments.
This is, in a lot of ways,
together.
it's like Linklater's Robin Hood. You know, no plot really, just a lot of theoretical conversation about the role of government and wealth.
Sure, yeah. Do you think this helps solidify some of your political leanings?
Yeah, maybe. I feel like this bent leans more toward libertarian, like you were saying, than like socialism, or like the idea that the government should tax anybody ever. But honestly, if the guy who was taxing me was sucking his thumb and beating up his only friend, I wouldn't want to pay taxes either.
Right. Which, we're... Yeah. Sorry, there's an elephant in the room that I'll just get out of the way right now. We're still in the weird Labor Day weekend haze of, did Trump have a stroke? Is he still cogent? We don't know. So that's looming over this whole thing.
Has the 25th been invoked?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna say no. Okay. Josh says yes.
How much?
Well, I think that he had a stroke. Yes.
Well, I'm going on the record saying like it's gonna.
I don't know how long they'll weekend at Bernie's his corpse around, or his not maybe corpse, but.
Do you think? So wait. Do you think that he's going to come out and actually speak, or do you think it's going to be an announcement?
I think it'll be an impersonator.
Do you really think he'll come out and convey that he's had a stroke?
I don't know.
They got to put him and Sleepy Joe in a home somewhere.
Yeah.
Let those guys duke it out.
All of the gerontocracy that's still in power can go there too.
That's the most amazing irony, though, about all this, is that Biden was pushed out. Whether or not you come down on the wrong or right side of how they did that, sure. But like that was the big concern, the huge concern about Biden.
Yeah.
And if he outlives Trump, oh man, what a funny twist of fate that would be.
Who is Robin Hood in modern current events? Like Malala? Like who's Robin Hood?
Greta Thunberg, maybe?
Greta Thunberg?
Luigi Mangione?
Oh, yeah. Free Luigi?
Mamma mia.
I mean, I guess if Robin Hood like caps Prince John in the back. I don't know if they cut that scene, Josh. Maybe we'll talk about the alternate versions of this.
There is an alternate ending. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, getting back to the movie.
Yeah.
That we're all here for. But yes.
Yeah, we're all here for that. Not non-evergreen.
We're here for the elephants in Robin Hood, not the elephants in the room.
Yes. Yeah. Do you still think that this was the best version of Robin Hood committed to film, Nick?
That was a pretty hot take about a movie I hadn't seen in like 2 decades.
Sure.
I'd have to
That's what this podcast is about.
Hot takes about old movies. I would have to rewatch some of the other Robin Hoods, but I imagine one that had a real plot could put up a pretty convincing argument to have been better than this one. But I will say, I think as a kid's movie, this works pretty well.
Yeah.
But we'll see if I get some arguments.
Yeah, we'll see. I jokingly made mention of the fact that this film is a feeder movie for furry fandom, but it is generally considered to be an oft-cited movie for that. What were your impressions of Maid Marian watching as an adult?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I just want to put that out into the world. I was not aware that this movie like made people become furries.
It's on the Wikipedia page even.
That's wild. Yeah, that's troubling for a lot of reasons. Maid Marian, I mean, I stand by that she's a lovely young woman, Fox. I think she's really supportive of the young people, which you want to see that in the elites, support for the young people, support for the working class. And they just, I mean, her and Robin really don't have any chemistry because they don't talk about anything. But yeah, she's great. Love her.
That was the most baffling thing to me about this.
It's really a love story where the two people in love don't really talk or communicate or share anything.
Yeah.
And there's like kind of this vague like explanation, right? Like they were together, right? They have this history. And then
That we never see.
we never see it. There's no flashbacks. And then what? And then he was part of
The archery contest thing.
but
They're
like,
both thinking about each other separate from one another.
But why did he leave, right? Why did he leave? Why did she go away?
Well, she left.
She
She
had to
went to
go to
London
London
because she
because she's
presumably
royal.
had to. Yeah. She had to come
Okay.
out or whatever. Yeah.
That was crystal clear to me.
She had her debutante ball.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just feels, I mean, like, there's no other way to communicate. If she goes to London, that's it. Like, he can't go. Okay.
He's got to stay, dude. He's got to steal from the rich to give
He's
to the
got to
poor.
stay and just pine.
Yeah. Very
Right.
Shakespearean, honestly.
In my head, I imagined Maid Marian to be like not tarted up necessarily, but I expected her to be more like anthropomorphized as like a kind of sexier thing.
Very demure, very mindful.
Yeah, yes. Jackie will love that if she listens. Okay, so you mentioned loving the music. Was this a film for which you had the like movie record with the songs, dialogue, narration, etc. growing up?
No, I just love that first song. I love having like a rooster, like a minstrel? What would you call this rooster? Like a rooster narrator bopping around. And in my adult life, I love Roger Miller. So then to go back and be like, oh, damn, that was Roger Miller? That's so sick.
Yeah, he really does function as, I mean, you said Shakespearean a moment ago, but like as a Shakespearean character that kind of
the chorus,
weaves
basically.
the story. Yeah, like I'm thinking like Festus in Twelfth Night or somebody like that who gives us.
Tiresias was one too, right? And
Okay.
shit, I might be
Flex.
wrong. I might be wrong.
Flex, you guys have read Shakespeare. Very cool.
Josh loves Shakespeare and knows a lot about it. If you've seen his Jeopardy episode. But I think
that was a question that like 5 people I knew. You were one of them because you'd been in the play.
I've never been in that. I honestly, I think if I was you, I don't think I would have got it.
I thought you knew it though.
I know it, but I don't think in the moment I would have got it. It's
sorry.
Anyway, long story short.
I lost on Jeopardy. My final Jeopardy question was a Shakespeare one that I knew I was going to get fucked on. Anyway,
he did get fucked on
moving
it.
on.
It's a real
fucked on it.
No,
It was
it's a
really
really
hard.
it's a really awful broken up quote that
has no textual clues at all.
No, it's so fucked. As someone who like has been in Shakespeare productions and like studied Shakespeare, like Josh got fucked up
and tried out for Jeopardy.
Yeah, well, yeah, college Jeopardy.
Justice for Josh.
Justice for Josh. Bring it back.
No, it doesn't matter.
Anyway, yeah, I don't. Where were we going there? Oh yeah, the chorus. Alan Adale, is that the character name for the rooster? Yeah. He's kind of. Yeah, he kind of functions both as like Alan Adale and kind of like a Will Scarlet. He's kind of this amalgam of different characters because he's imprisoned, right? At some point too. Like he is not immune. It's not like he's wandering in and out as this sort of like specter narrator that people can't see or can't interact with. Like he gets shackled. And they let him keep his guitar in prison, which I thought was a nice touch. Or his lute, whatever it is.
The least they could do.
Was the music as good as you'd remembered it being?
Yeah, I like the music. I think it's good music. I think it's different than a lot of like what I think of when I think about like Disney musicals. Like it felt a little more grounded. I'm not a music guy, so when I talk about it, I sound dumb. But yeah, I really like the music. I think the music's good. I think the movie could have stood to have a little bit more music. to be honest with you, to fill in some of those gaps where there's no plot.
Yeah.
And then the song where Robin and Marion are like walking around at dusk, that was the only song I was like, this isn't really hitting for me, but otherwise, yeah.
So
And that wasn't Roger Miller, so that
There
would be
you
why.
go.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know
was
if-
Johnny Mercer, I believe.
no,
Oh no, it was the other one. Sorry, it was
George Burns.
yeah, George Bruns.
Bruns. Yeah, I always do that.
Yeah.
Do you know about that song, Nick?
No, and like
So it's called Love. They went with the placeholder name for
that's
that
really
song. But it got nominated for original song at the Academies.
no, it did not.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Good.
Oh no.
And Jodie Foster came out to sing it. And this is pre-Taxi Driver.
So how old was she? Like 11 years old?
Yeah, something like 11 or 12. She comes out and she sings Love.
She's not the singer in the movie, obviously.
She is not the singer
Nancy
in the movie.
Adams. Yeah.
No, but it was there's some questionable lyrics in that song.
For
I
an 11-year-old to be singing?
For anybody to be singing in a children's movie. I think there's a line of like, I can feel your love grow inside of me, something like that.
Oh no.
Which I guess is setting up the sort of North by Northwest tinged final shot of the film.
Oh yeah, good lord. More on that in a minute.
Yeah. With Skippy in earshot?
Skippy's gonna grow up real fast. And he doesn't even like that stuff, right? Like when Skippy gets kissed.
We
like-
don't know. Maybe he will.
Yeah, but when Skippy gets kissed, it's like, wow, you just got some serious affection by this by this cougar to him.
By this fox.
By this fox. And he can't even be bothered. It's a big, like, disgusting production for him. But yeah, by the end of the movie, he's gonna find out where rabbits come from.
Sure will.
Maybe
She
this
has-
is why I was afraid to kiss girls for so long. That actually would explain
Yeah,
a lot.
it's gross.
Is there any, like, were there any moments where you were watching and there was like, maybe this is why, insert problem or long-standing thing, like, and any moments that were like a sort of psychological, like, oh, aha moment?
Well, a lot of my very closest friends are guys who are bigger than me because I'm kind of a thinner guy. So maybe I'm trying to recreate a Robin Hood Little John moment with all my best buds.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do think when we walk down the street, we might give off that kind of look. So maybe that.
Do you wear a hat?
Sometimes
Okay.
I wear a hat. Yeah.
Like Robin Hood's hat?
Yeah, I'm often wearing that hat. And my bigger close friends usually have a big wooden staff, and I usually have a bow and arrow. So
Sure.
that.
But you wear it really high on the dome, so that if I shot an arrow through it, it would not touch skull.
Yeah, that's right. I love the totally defying physics in this movie. I think that's something
I have
enjoy.
that note when they swing into the tree.
Yes,
Like,
me too.
what?
Love it. Why follow the rules of the world if you're going to be animated?
I mean, speaking of rules of the world, we talked about it being anthropomorphized woodland creatures, but that there was also a lion. How did it strike you as an adult that lions were in the mix here? Or elephants or rhinos, like...
I thought the fact that the evil animals were elephants, rhinos, alligator, vulture, lion, that tracks, actually.
Okay.
That tracks. I don't want to run into any of those guys in the wild.
Did it strike you as a kid that those are all African animals?
No. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, and I will flag that for Disney and Uncle Eisner the next time.
I don't think it's almost like all the bad animals, with the exception of Richard the Lionheart, which again, you can't really stray away from that. They're all African in origin, and then they've recruited this kind of a local character in the guise of a wolf, right?
I think this is a great point you're making.
Yeah, I mean, Disney has not been immune to criticism from the coloring of their villains as well over the years. Jafar, yeah, a lot of animals, even like
Jar Jar Binks.
Aristocats, are going to have I don't think they were Disney quite
I
yet.
know it wasn't Disney yet. I was joking.
We can talk about George Lucas. Well, we probably will talk about George Lucas at another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think that you do want to create an otherness between the good and the bad. And it just seems maybe not a complete coincidence that the bad characters in this movie are all from Africa.
Do we think that this is justifying colonialism?
I just want Sean.
At least passively?
So just to make sure, Sean, you're saying I'm a piece of shit for saying that those animals seem like they could be villains, right? I just want to put a pin in that one.
We're just laying you back on the couch, Nick, and walking you through some questions. There's no right or wrong here.
Just like make sure I'm a bad guy.
we just bring some attention, and that's the thing too. It's like as a kid, I didn't notice.
Fuck,
I didn't notice
not
either.
Thinking about the diaspora when I was watching this movie, that's on me.
No, and I don't think Josh had that thought as well. I think it's just something weird that I wrote down.
I
You're
just
right,
thought
though.
it was weird
You're
that
right.
it's irrespective of like how these animals would live in the wild. You know, like it's animals from disparate places on the planet together. Like that's the thing that bothered me. I didn't really put together that they were all African animals that were bad, with the exception of Richard the Lionheart.
But they are
Yeah.
all like woodland creatures that are the good guys and the citizens, and then all of the
100%.
others are African.
Yeah, the
origin
only
animals.
one that's bad, that's the woodland creature, is the wolf. And that's the sheriff, and that's the one that like has to live in the community and answers back to, you know, the crown, but he's not from there, right? Even though it looks like it's just a little jaunt up north to Nottingham, he's the one that has to live and like walk around and collect his taxes, which, you know, taxes became, I think that there is something though about this movie that like feels very political. Like taxes.
Inspired by Barry Goldwater.
Yeah. Taxes are not like, hey, we're going to take a percentage of your income. Taxes are, we're just going to take your income.
Yeah.
Taxes aren't, hey, the better you do, the more you'll be taxed. The better you do, the more you'll be able to kind of give back. It's, we're just going to rob you blind. And like as a kid, that's a hard, there's no subtlety there. Like when he comes into the church and he takes the one coin, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he's taking a percentage of that. It's not like
Or
he's
Skippy's
taking
farthing.
Skippy's farthing. Yeah. It's just robbing you under the guise that this is taxes. And you look at kind of like, I don't know, the Tea Party or something like that.
But Barry Goldwater was, I mean, I referenced him, but he was like the sort of leader of this charge, and he first ran for the Republican presidential nomination in 64 or 68. So it was like germane to that period of time that he was doing this, because Reagan picked up the mantle of that.
Right.
And you know, all these taxes, nothing is improving in Nottingham. They're not
No.
paving new roads.
Yeah.
You know, the public pools are not open longer. The libraries are still closed on Sundays. The problems remain, you know, so.
The only badminton that's ahistorically happening is happening behind the wall of the palace.
Where are the public parks? Where are the public parks?
Yep. They don't care about infrastructure in Sherwood Forest.
I'm all for preservation, but how are people, where's the accessibility for those who
Yes,
might need it?
yes, 100%. At this point, I will mention that the farthing didn't exist in the
there he
time
is.
of Prince John and
There's
King Richard.
Josh, just crossing his arms, watching the movie, shaking his head.
The farthing
The
didn't exist.
The farthing didn't exist yet.
Calling bullshit.
It was introduced during the reign of King Edward, which was 73 years later. Balloons weren't invented in the 19th century.
Gee. Oh, God.
Come on.
John didn't actually tax the English more than his brother, but his brother was more popular, thanks in large part to his victories in battle during the Crusades. and badminton didn't exist until the mid-18th century.
So at the theater, Josh is tapping the stranger in front of him and telling him all this.
Yeah. I needed to get it out before, while we're still sort of near it. Okay. So, we asked you how old you were when you were watching Robin Hood on a loop, and you said...
Oh, probably before I have a memory. Like, I think maybe like 3 years old, I started watching that movie on repeat.
Okay.
And yeah, that would be a movie like, oh, you're on vacation with child Nick. Okay, you're going to watch Robin Hood 20 times. You think there's something else you're going to watch? No, you're mistaken. You're going to watch it again.
Are you talking about people that visited you or when you were on vacation?
No, you'd go on a group vacation with cousins and aunts and uncles.
Okay.
People took time off of work.
And where would you go?
Oh, maybe to like the beach, like a beach around Boston in the Northeast or something like that. Maybe to Maine. And they would spend their vacation watching Robin Hood again.
So early in the conversation, you mentioned that you thought your parents just wanted you to see and like the things that they loved. But this wasn't as specifically pertained to this film. Do you think Robin Hood was a movie that they loved first, or do you think you latched onto it on your own steam?
No, I don't think my adult parents, my boomer parents, were passionate about this movie of their own accord. Yeah, this was a Nick choice for sure. I don't know why this one. Now I'm sort of worried that I'm like a furry and I don't know it yet. Now that you brought that up, I haven't experimented with that.
Again,
There's still time. We're not kink shaming here.
we would never. This is one of the tenets of the Unkind Rewind.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think that you can look at a lot of childhood influences vis-a-vis these movies that we talk about on the Unkind Rewind as like, oh, maybe that's where that comes from. Like, it happens episode after episode of like, oh my God, maybe I'm into octogenarians because I saw Jessica Tandy in that house dress when we did Cocoon. I mean, maybe I'm into like old men because I saw Don Amici breakdancing or whatever the hell he's doing in Cocoon.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But like, yeah, like as you're a little kid and you're working stuff out, and you're trying to see where on the Kinsey scale you are, like we're not immune to these things, and we're impressionable at these ages. So, like, there's no, like, I would say that the Maid Marian in Robin Hood is a very popular response in terms of like, what is the hottest Disney animal character? And you know, they lean into that. They give her those Disney eyes. I mean, those like come hither looks that they do. It's almost the same kind of look that they give Nala 20 years later in The Lion King. And they animate her eyes differently than a lot of the other characters too. So she definitely has like this Disney glow up that they do for the characters that they want to evoke some type of like, you know, beauty upon, even though it's a fox.
I have to say I feel really grateful. Well, no kink shaming, but I have never personally considered which Disney animal was the hottest. That's not a thought that's crossed my mind.
Look, you haven't taken the internet test that tells you which is...
Yeah, there's like 97 different BuzzFeed quizzes that
will narrow it down. Yep.
Which childhood animal makes you horniest? Yeah, I haven't taken that one yet, but maybe after this.
Well, I mean, in the same way that, like, you mentioned Little John being kind of this, you know, early draw towards big friends and bigger guys and feeling like the camaraderie from being around kind of the jocular, you know, not oafish, but like, sizable dudes. I mean, there's so many different ways we could kind of go down the psychology of these movies and go like, oh, okay, like maybe this has informed or characterized your political beliefs or your you know, your look on religion or your look at taxes. There's a lot of different ways we can go down that path. I don't think it's a coincidence as well that they made the quote unquote beautiful character in this movie a fox. You know, I mean, I think that has to come from Robin Hood as well, which, yeah, we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
He has to be sly.
I also got a weird, and maybe this is because we were talking about Robin and Marion, but I did get a weird, like, Audrey Hepburn vibe from Maid Marian.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, she's, you know, the accents in this movie are kind of all over the place, right?
Right.
Maybe,
which is also baffling to me, but there is, I guess, a reason for it.
Yeah.
But that's Monica Evans?
I think she was a pigeon sister in The Odd Couple. Like when...
She was.
Yeah, when they get the two girls to kind of come over and Oscar is, you know, whining and dining them and Felix is kind of losing his mind. I think she's one of those British... She is. Okay, she is one of those pigeon sisters. But yeah, she's not a big career cast for her voice. Probably was a blind casting, which I know that they did a lot in Disney where they just kind of heard people. I guess that there was, like, maybe I'm inflating this, but something like 1,000 women that read for Snow White back in the day. And that was all blind casting as well. At Disney, Walt Disney just kind of heard Snow White. Yeah, the casting on this movie would probably be really interesting to kind of track how these people came together, because there is...
I know they had a real issue getting Robin.
Oh, okay.
They had cast somebody else and had to recast, and the casting issues were put production behind. So,
Right.
But you have British, American, Deep South, Texas. I mean, I'm blanking on the actor who plays the sheriff in Nottingham, but...
It's a melting pot.
it's Pat Buttram.
Yeah, he's that guy that talks like this.
Yeah, he was Mr. Haney in Green Acres.
Mr. Haney, yeah.
But yeah, you've got Goober Pyle as Trigger. George Lindsay. But yeah, you've got it's a weird amalgamation of Deep South, and apparently some of this is because Ken Anderson, who was the first one who was sort of tasked to conceptualize the film, was wanting to evoke Song of the South, which even at that time was a controversial thing to want to revisit.
Yeah. Okay.
The director, who was Wolfgang Reitherman, he kind of overruled that because he wanted it to be set in the South.
Oh, okay.
Ken Anderson did. Ken Anderson wanted it to be set in the South, and Reitherman was like, "No, it's going to be in the traditional England setting." Yeah, yeah. Robin Hood,
not Southern.
Oh, the South in when?
Yeah.
Were there kings then? Yeah, lots of issues with that.
Well, if there were anachronisms, Josh, we'd count on you to tell us about them.
Yeah, I have. There are probably more that I'm not going
to bother with. Was that instrument that Alan Dale's playing, was that even of the time? Or had that...
I assume so.
Okay, but you would tell us if...
We should be sure.
Although I'm assuming he's not actually playing a lute or a lyre, whichever it was. And
no, it sounds like a guitar. Yeah.
Yeah, were there any moments where you saw the film from your put upon family members' perspective in the room as you rewound and restarted the tape while you rewatched it this time?
Yeah, I was bored quite a few times, and I was like, dang, this is a movie for children. I'm sorry to all my adult family members. I may watch this over and over again. Because while I still do think it's a good children's movie, it is slow. It is slow, which I actually think children's movies should be slow. I think the way that like all content and media for kids now is like something new every half second is bad for their brains.
Yeah.
I would not want to watch this movie as a grown adult in my free time.
Right.
Because again, not very much happens.
Yeah. Same boat. I was frankly shocked at how little happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Was not how I remembered it. I certainly recall things occurring, but really not much.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
And
it really,
I think we impart a lot of the traditional folklore of Robin Hood on the film, like, you know, in our heads, and then like the Merry Men Are Nowhere.
Mhm.
The hijinks are not really very Robin Hoody, honestly.
No, there was so many costumes.
Yeah.
A lot of drag, a lot of
Uh-huh.
costumes. That was like the most adventurous stuff going on, really.
Yeah. I wonder what the modern GOP would think of all the drag in this.
yeah, there's a lot of drag and a lot of like quote unquote hetero characters being affected by drag. I mean, Little John's bust attracts attention numerous times in this movie. Numerous sexual attention.
Yes, it does. Yes,
You
it
know,
does.
and I think like someone's into Lady Cluck as well for her size.
That's definitely a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people like
Yeah.
her.
Was that shit? Who was that? Was that the sheriff?
Lady Cluck?
No, I can't remember.
Oh, yeah,
Who was
I
in
think
the
it might have
Lady
been the
Cluck?
sheriff that was affected by it. It was somebody, maybe it was somebody at, I mean, it really ramps up. It goes from like the archery tournament to him being caught to like,
Yeah.
like that's like the big turning point in this. And then he's caught and then he's almost killed. Like when that guy comes in to chop his head off.
Yeah.
Good Lord. I mean, as a kid, I imagine like if you're young and that guy comes in, he's got that black mask on. Like, you know, we won't even can't even show you the face of this rhino coming in with the gleaming, you know, the gleaming sharpened axe to cut off a fox's head. I mean, that's serious. Even the way that they kind of frame that scene, like it's a low angle and he just kind of fills the frame, kind of walks into this thing very low on that quote unquote camera. Yeah, I mean, I imagine as a kid that this is, depending on your age, this is not like a 5-year-old Disney movie. There's a lot of intensity in this thing that would probably rankle you.
Yeah. I think the ending too, the final sequence, which I think is actually probably the most exciting the movie ever gets. But that whole building lighting up on fire is like pretty intense also.
Yeah.
That was not very fun and fanciful.
No.
Similarly, it was quite terrifying. And I did remember that. I did remember like having a recall moment as a kid being like, oh, this was scary for sure to me. Like,
Yeah.
the protagonist is sort of seemingly engulfed in flame.
Seemingly dies for a minute.
Yeah.
And in the alternate ending, I guess we can talk about that now since that's where we are. In the alternate ending, he actually is wounded by the arrows and has to be like nursed back to health. And then luckily King Richard comes in and they actually, they never finished the animation. So it's a lot of storyboard art, but King Richard comes in and like sets everything right.
They had to amputate his arm though.
He can't shoot anymore. He can't use his bow and arrow anymore.
Yeah, that's the big tragedy.
Now that's a more interesting movie. Who is Robin Hood without his bow?
Right. It is funny. I remember when he's like, for Skippy Rabbit's birthday, he gives him a weapon. Like he gives him the bow and arrow. That feels very kind of Second Amendment to be like, all right, you're 8 now. Here's a killing machine.
Here's
And
a tool of war.
Yeah, and he's very, I mean, like, the arc that he gets on that arrow that goes into the castle. Pretty impressive.
Natural. Yeah, he's a natural.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it's like, it's so weird because he's a creature of Nottingham, and yet there's this castle. It feels like Nottingham and London are pretty close. Right?
Yeah. It was interesting watching this as a grown-up and trying to think about the logistics, the spatial logistics of this area. And it seems like Nottingham is like one town square where there's a noose and a jail.
Yeah.
And the forest is right next to that same noose and jail, but also there's a castle where there's alternatively badminton and also a tower where the prince lives. Like that all seemed to be one thing. But I could be wrong. But there was like one brick building, one stone building in the whole town.
So for geography fiends, Nottingham is northeast of Birmingham.
So it's pretty north.
Yeah, it's still south of Manchester. So it's sort of in the north central England. Yeah. So you thought this was in the heavy rotation until you were 10 or 11. Looking back with your adult point of view, what do you think it might have been about Robin Hood that let it stick around so long for young Nick? Because you did say that it felt like that was longer than it should have been.
Yeah. Well, boy, you really don't have to think very hard to watch this movie. So maybe I would just enjoy turning my brain off and putting this movie on. Yeah, I think he's just like he's got a great message. I think steal from the rich and give to the poor is a very, especially with a small 9-year-old, 10-year-old brain. Like, yeah, I'll fuck with that guy. That seems cool.
Totally
Because
cool.
they use the alternative, or they use the opposite line when Prince John and Hiss are talking.
Right.
They actually say, rob from the poor and give to the rich. You know.
Yeah. Also in that scene, I liked that there's like a small breadcrumb that was basically like Hiss hypnotized King Richard, and that's why the Crusades happened.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, what? Wait a minute. Can we go back?
It's like, oh.
That is a pretty influential Python.
Yeah. And that he was able to start the Crusades, but also is like the whipping post for this loser. It was like the duality of Sir Hiss, you know?
So, as a filmmaker, how did you feel about how the character of Robin Hood, to whom you were drawn as a child, how do you feel like the character here was written?
Pretty surface level. Nothing wrong with that when, I guess maybe there is something wrong with that. Yeah, if there had been any sort of inner strife or inner outer turmoil, that could have been probably good for the character. As a filmmaker, I probably can't afford to make a character who's that surface level. But you know, I guess I will say like Robin Hood is pretty like a famous known figure. So a lot of the work is kind of already done for you. And I do kind of appreciate that this was not like an origin, how did everybody meet movie? Because I don't know how that serves like a G-rated audience. Like, let's just get into it. Let's start seeing the cute antics and having a good time.
Yeah, Robin Hood is well known at this point. I mean, the wanted posters are up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like with the new Superman, which, you know, I had issues with, but at least it wasn't a fucking origin story.
Yeah, let's dispense with that every time. So that was nice. I appreciated that.
So, moving on to the next clip, we asked what memories stuck out to you about your experiences with Robin Hood.
You know, I remember really hating that damn sheriff. And I remember that Robin Hood was so good at pretending to be an old lady. He fooled me. And then really my memory of watching it is like a very one-to-one thing. But just like to this day, it's probably been 20 years. Like every family gathering, like someone will bring up to me that like they had to watch Robin Hood too many times because of me. So I can understand only through retellings that this was a nuisance for a lot of other people.
Did you feel like hating the sheriff was a formative feeling for you watching this back in 2025?
No, I had some sympathy for the sheriff, actually.
Okay.
And also, he's so stupid that it's hard to hate him.
Right.
I forgot that he was like sort of the most gullible character, easiest to fool, easiest to outwit. And like Sean was saying earlier, he's kind of just like the conduit. He's kind of like forced into action by Prince John. Like at one point he's singing, he's like gleefully singing the song that's about how Prince John is terrible.
It's
So
catchy.
yeah. So I was sort of like, boy, what happened in the sheriff's childhood that led him down this path? Poor guy.
Were Robin and Little John's disguises still as wily and clever for you now,
No.
watching as they were for young Nick? Okay.
No. I thought the stork outfit, that was fun. I like that one.
He looks like a stork. It's like
He looks like a stork.
yeah. Everybody knows that it's Robin. At least they set that trap for him, and it obviously exposes it when he hits a fucking arrow into an arrow.
Yeah.
To get a bullseye, which I thought was a great little moment.
That was cool. Yeah, it was weird that the only costume that's actually good is the one that everyone can tell it's him.
Right.
Like when he's just
Yeah.
wearing a green robe and glasses, like you said, Sean, nobody has a clue.
Or if they put this, Romanov gypsy outfit on him, and they give him a mole, I think.
Yeah.
But it's still his fucking fox face.
Yeah, but he has blue eyeshadow.
Oh, right.
So no one can tell that it's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and who
Or
would
drag.
Yeah, why would women be bandits?
Also, at least he did voices. Little John's drag, he just had the same voice that he had, no matter who he was pretending to be. At least
Some rhinos are into that.
That's a really good point.
He's just Baloo.
He's just Baloo. Yeah.
This was the same Baloo, right? The same actor, yeah.
When I was a kid, I honestly thought it was the same, like that Baloo was
Canonically.
Yeah, I thought they were both in the same thing.
I saw this way before Jungle Book. That's interesting.
Huh.
Well, you basically saw
Jungle Book happened in 67, and then this is 73.
Yeah, but you're watching Jungle Book when you see this.
Right. Yeah.
Both are good.
Sometimes. There was definitely recycled animation. Yep.
Which they would do a lot, right?
They did that a lot, but this was because they were as far behind schedule as they were.
Yeah, Disney. I mean, Robin Hood is not the first movie to kind of bear that stigma of being patched together.
They did that a lot, yeah.
But when you're hand drawn shit, yeah, I think this is pre CGI, Josh. 73.
Yeah.
Yeah, this must have been a pain in the ass to make.
Yeah. This was the first movie that Disney did that Walt Disney had no involvement with whatsoever.
That's why
he
I
died
liked
in
it.
66. Yeah.
That's why I liked it so much.
Yeah, so he had been interested in the tale of Reynard the Fox, who I don't know what that means. But they'd been dancing around with Reynard the Fox since 1938, but always kind of decided not to jump in. And so when Ken Anderson was tasked with kind of conceptualizing Robin Hood after pitching that as the next thing that they would do, because they were going to use a classic tale to kind of be the first thing that Walt Disney wasn't involved in the creation of, he thought that it made sense for him to be a fox, which I think it does.
Yeah, I mean,
Sly.
I guess the thing that I kind of got caught up on is why go the animal route? Because they've established a lot of these classic fairy tales as being with human characters. We even see in the very beginning the book opening up, and we see human representations of Robin Hood, right? Mm-hmm. And human representations of Prince John, maybe, or the caravan. And then it kind of goes, Alan Adale says, well, we in the animal kingdom also have this story, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it did feel like, maybe there was an actor strike and they couldn't get real humans. But to do a well-known story like Snow White or Cinderella or Sleeping Beauty, but then not animate humans. Like humans don't exist in this world outside of the that first storybook. I mean, it's a choice. I'm just kind of wondering what went into that choice. Maybe they
it's
thought...
the first Disney movie since Bambi that didn't have a human in it. Animated.
Yeah. Because even as close to, Jungle Book, as we talked about, it's still a human world.
Yeah,
and
Mowgli is still
human. And the animals talk. and Mowgli can understand them. But like those animals are living in a human world where everything is, and they're not in clothes, right?
Yeah.
They don't use props like Bagheera and Shere Khan are not bipedal the way that Prince John is here. So definitely some kind of like massive sea change. It's just in terms of like how they're doing animals and how they're looking at animals. And you know, I don't know enough about Disney to know if that was a turning point where they saw success in this and they're like, let's just continue with that trend. You know, I don't have Disney's filmography in front of me, but like, did they go back to the kind of Jungle Book animals, or did they go, okay, well, let's make these animals more human?
After this, the next two movies that Disney did, I believe, were The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh and The Rescuers.
Oh, okay.
So again, those are animals living in a human world.
Yeah. And I don't know that this was sort of at least critically received as sort of a like not bad but middling Disney movie.
So
when it came out.
So Walt Disney died, and then they made like 3 movies with anthropomorphized animals.
Well, Walt Disney died in 1966. The Aristocats and The Jungle Book came out after his death, but he had been involved in the like creation of them.
Okay.
Because I think Jungle Book was 1967 and Aristocats was 1970, I want to say. 1970 or 1971.
Okay.
So, do you have anything you'd like to say to your clearly aggrieved family who you subjected this film to?
Sorry, not sorry. It could have been worse. Could be Coco Melon these days. So I think you're lucky to miss this movie.
Right on. Right on.
That's what I would say to them. Could have been a hell of a lot worse.
Throw in the last clip. We asked what your expectations were for your return to Robin Hood, and you said,
well, I think it's going to be shorter than I remember. I bet it's coming in at like a tight 75 minutes.
Okay.
And the plot is probably a little less nuanced than I remember it. It's not probably as deep as I'd like to recall, but I really can't think of anything else. I think it's just gonna be a glorious trip down memory lane. Maybe I'm an optimist, but
so it came in at a loose 83 minutes, but your time was pretty close. Very loose 83. I was shocked at how loose this 83 minutes was.
They could have cut 8 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. Were the concerns of a less than nuanced plot founded?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Any plot at all would have sufficed. But you know, I do think like in my apologist mind for this movie, if you're making a children's movie, like, just make it kind of episodic and like roaming around. It doesn't really need a plot to do. Like, what's the goal of this movie? To amuse children. This is like chewing gum for a child's brain with some good music.
/ indoctrinate them.
Indoctrinate against paying taxes. Yeah. Yes. It's weird because it's like eat the rich, but also never pay taxes.
But also ACAB.
But also sort of ACAB, yeah.
ACAB.
Sure. ACAB for the sheriff, yeah.
Yep.
And also maybe be a furry. So whoever, I can't remember the director's name, but he was going through it clearly.
Wolfgang
Reitherman?
Yeah, he had his own.
Yeah, I mean, he's a working Disney guy. I mean,
he directed basically all of the Disney animated features from.
He's a company man.
He did 101 Dalmatians, Sword in the Stone, Jungle Book, The Aristocats.
Oh wow!
This Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh and the Rescuers. So.
And prior to that, he's an animator. So like he knew how to do this shit.
Yeah, he was like doing shit from Snow White through Sleeping Beauty before he was directing that stuff. Like he was a animator, sequence director, and directing animator like for another 20 years before he was directing.
Okay.
He watched Walt Disney get frozen. Like he was probably there at the process
That's crazy.
when they froze his head.
That would fuck me up too.
Now, Sean thought this might have been brought back to theaters when we were kids, which he was right about, but its official re-release in March of '82 would have been a little too early for either of us to have remembered seeing it.
Jesus.
Did your memory of possibly seeing this at a drive-in crystallize at all, Sean, or was it still kind of a hazy like you think you might have?
It is hazy, and I did reach out to my brother who would remember shit like that, and he's like, no, we didn't see it at a drive-in. So I was fucking, I don't know what I was doing. It must have been another Disney movie that I just, that kind of stuff I'm not great at.
Yeah.
So I saw, hand on the book of Disney, I did see a animated movie at a drive-in at some point in the 80s, but it wasn't Robin Hood, apparently.
We all have our shortcomings, Sean.
Yeah. I feel a little bit bad about that one, because I did have kind of, and maybe it's just because this movie has such an outdoorsy feel to it that I was like, oh, it's probably in the woods when I saw this.
Okay, right. Did rewatching this change where you think you'd rank it amongst the other Robin Hood films? Because I know, Nick, you had it in 1, Sean, you had it 1B, I had it 1B.
Right.
I gotta watch Prince of Thieves. Right, that's what it's called.
Yeah, the Kevin Costner.
The Costner one. I need to watch that again, because as a grown up, I might like that movie more. Although reading that
or less.
Yeah, reading that movie's Wikipedia page, not a flattering summary of a movie. Like reading the production information about that does not make you think you're gonna like watching it, but we'll see.
You never know. I mean, the production of Ishtar was a disaster, but I like Ishtar.
Masterpiece.
I agree. Unironically, I really do like Ishtar.
No,
I think it's better than everybody says. Masterpiece I'm a little reluctant on, but yeah, it got a raw deal.
I'll never say anything bad about Elaine May, even under torture. So
right, yeah, we've extolled the virtues of the Heartbreak Kid a lot on this podcast.
Well, New Leaf too. My God.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I just watched The Birdcage again.
Criminally underrated.
Always welcome on the show, by the way.
Yeah. Please, Elaine, come on.
I know.
Reach out.
We know she listens.
Yeah.
She could probably do it at my apartment. I could.
Probably could.
Yep.
Probably
I think she's probably out here. I mean, it's hard to get 2 people in this place, but I'll make an exception.
Okay, so moving on to picking up the scraps. Sean and I guess didn't really answer that last question. Sorry. Let's Sean, did this move at all on your Robin Hood power rankings?
Maybe a little. I mean, I definitely think the criticisms you guys have are valid, and yeah, I mean, I think there are still enough little moments in this movie that kind of like keep it watchable, even if it is a little long. And doesn't
at 83 minutes.
Yeah, and doesn't quite feel like a 3-act structure.
I would posit maybe it's a no-act structure, but
yeah, but I think that there are enough little moments here to, make it watchable, make it fun. I can talk about those when we get to it, but yeah, it probably moves down a little bit. I just don't know if they've ever nailed Robin Hood, right? Like, with respect to, the Errol Flynn version.
Yeah. Was that Michael Curtiz?
Oh, God. I don't know. He's working actor back there, sure. That feels weird that he would do that and then jump to Casablanca.
It was Curtiz and William Cayley.
Okay. Oh, holy shit. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to see that one again, and maybe Prince. It's tough because I'm hazy on basically all of them.
Right. Okay.
I don't know
I'm
if it's
sort
ever
of
been
the same mind.
Who's ever crushed the Robin Hood story? I don't know.
Right. I guess that's why Ridley Scott would go back and try to do it and have it not work.
Do you think though that you're, just to tie a knot on this, that when you were talking about Maid Marian as Audrey Hepburn, that it was because you were thinking of Robin and Marion.
I 100% think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I was imparting on, or at least I think that's possibly what it was. Like, I think subconsciously I may have been drawing that connection.
But not with Robin. Which is weird because he fucking shows up as Richard the Lionheart in Prince of Thieves.
Yeah.
But you don't think of Connery when you think of Robin Hood.
No, and when I'm thinking of Audrey Hepburn, I'm thinking more of Audrey Hepburn, circa like 1952.
And mostly that voice, that demure British,
yes,
very upper RP, very class,
yes,
posh.
Okay, so moving on to picking up the scraps. Is there anything we've missed that anyone would like to talk about?
I think Prince John, whoever did the Prince John voice acting, tremendous. I think he was the most...
It's Ustinov for both him and...
Hiss?
Oh, wait, sorry.
No, Hiss was a different guy.
Yeah, no, it's King Richard and Prince John are both Ustinov.
He was so much fun. I had not remembered how great he was. He had so many fun, like, alliterative lines, but then he also says, "Forgive me a cruel chuckle" at one point, and then just laughs, which I would love to incorporate into my own life when I'm about to start laughing at something, just to say, "Forgive me a cruel chuckle." Amazing.
Any other scraps?
The only other thing, another line that was in the movie when Skippy is like running away with Maid Marian in the garden, and she says, "You're so brave and impetuous," and that's also something I want to start telling people.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise,
I thought it was nuts to have Roger Miller narrating, show pages from the book, and then not have him narrate. Like, he basically drops out for like 45 minutes as a narrator.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what? Like, the rationale behind, like, why and how they were telling the story made zero sense to me for most of the movie. It was very odd to feel like, especially because, like, I had remembered liking this. And I was sort of like, I wonder how young Josh, like, locked into this, because it seems like it's coming from so many different places to tell this story, and that there's not a lot of sense that goes into that, or that's gone into it.
I think that the Oedipal complex with the Prince John needs to be looked at. How in love with his mother or affected he is.
Eleanor of Aquitaine.
Yeah, how affected he is by her. At every mention
off screen entirely.
Yeah, we don't.
To never show her is also a weird move.
We don't get the backstory on that. Is she in a tower at this point? Is Eleanor of Aquitaine?
I don't think so. I think she's just...
Okay, she's not imprisoned?
I don't believe so.
Okay, I'll look into that. By the way, Nick, estimates between 3 and 9 million total dead in the Crusades that Hiss started.
Unforgivable.
I mean, obviously the
where does that put him on the all-time, like,
it puts him
Kissinger,
really high.
Pol Pot, like, right. Where is he?
I think he's above Hitler. Yeah.
If you're talking about percentage of the world population, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
Hitler is also. So you have to sort of count the.
If we're going
the Russians who died on the Eastern Front,
which was a lot.
Hitler's
yeah.
tally,
So
yeah.
Okay, he's maybe just below Hitler.
We'll have the full rankings out for our Patreon subscribers.
Yeah, but he is that kind of worm tongue, Tolkien character who can affect the prince in such a way. But yeah, the weird mommy thing, the sucking his thumb, every time that Hiss would bring him up, it would infantilize Prince John. I thought was, begged a conversation. I thought that the defenses of the castle left a lot to be desired. Skippy basically just slipped through this pretty wide-gapped gate to get an arrow. I like that Toby is like a known snitch. Like, they just immediately
fucking turtles.
Fucking Toby. Yeah. That was kind of cute, though, when he cheered on his father at the archery tournament. I thought there were a couple funny things in that archery tournament where we saw Disney get creative. The Shaggy dog...
Glasses didn't exist then either.
The Shaggy dog having to blow his hair out of his eyes to fire. Oh, glasses didn't exist? Okay.
Another 100 years or so, yeah.
But like that warthog was, I don't know. There was some cool stuff there. I don't know if this is a coincidence, but the bad vulture being called Nazi, and at many times sounding like Nazi.
I heard Nazi so many times.
Yeah, I did too. And this is like, Disney's still in the wake of kind of post-World War II as he starts his company. I'm sure that there were, despite the politics of this movie, still a lot of anti-Nazi memories.
Yeah, we're not saying this movie's pro-Nazi.
No,
that's a relief.
It's a lot of things, but I don't think there's a leg to stand on there.
I think that those are just like the little things. Yeah, the scraps.
Do you think that children in 1973 would have known what a flint-hearted leech was?
Who calls them that?
I believe it's Friar Tuck calls
Sheriff?
The Sheriff of Nottingham that.
Yeah. He goes too far.
That's too far.
But flint-hearted leech, I mean, I barely know what that means. I don't think that children in 1973 would.
No, I don't think so.
Do you think that children in 1973 would have appreciated stealing hubcaps? Because they definitely steal gold hubcaps off of the Royal.
Yeah, and they do it when their back's turned. They do it while facing away. Much in the same way that like the Griswolds got their hubcaps taken.
Yeah, they made me think it would be a lot easier to steal hubcaps, which is how I got sent to juvie. So
it's a difficult thing to steal hubcaps.
Unbelievable.
Now I can't get Pike's wheels being stolen off of his car out of my head, which I think we talked about on the podcast, but I can't remember. Maybe that was Munchman Benson. That happened in Brooklyn. He went out to his car and his car was on the ground.
They took the tires?
Yeah, they took the whole wheels.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Did Oodalali strike anyone else's odd? Was it just me? Like, I felt like, what the fuck does this mean? I had no frame of reference for it. I didn't remember it. Apparently it was popularized in the 50s and meant yay or yippee, but I had zero frame of reference for it and was like constantly like, why are people saying this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had no frame of reference for it either. I guess sometimes in a movie I like when you just like are forced to accept the reality of the setting. And I just kind of took that as like, oh, these random ass woodland creatures say oodalali when they're happy. Having no knowledge of any sort of historical context, and that worked for me. If somebody had explained it, I would have been like, don't explain this, just have the rooster say it again,
Yeah.
But interesting to know that human beings actually said this out loud at one point, and it meant something.
It apparently did.
Okay.
Do we have any more scraps to pick up, or can we move on to major gripes?
Let's gripe it.
Okay. So, starting with our guest, Nick, what was your biggest gripe with the film this go around?
I don't want to repeat myself too much. I feel like my biggest gripe, aside from there being no plot and the protagonist...
I mean, it's fine if you want to stick with that, too.
I mean, obviously, we talked about...
It's a significant problem.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, people who are listening, they shouldn't be super surprised by our gripes as we've been talking about this movie for an hour.
Yeah. I mean, no plot, not a lot of juice in the characters. I mean, I think Little John gets a pretty, no pun intended, like short end of the stick. I mean, there's a lot of meat on that bone with that character. Like canonically, it's like a really fun, affable dude, and he doesn't really have anything to do in this movie, which is too bad.
Yeah. The weird thing is, they cut out all the merry men, but they had the merry men in the tagline for the movie.
Oh, really?
But the merry men were like never a part of this. Reitherman was basically like, I want to do a riff on Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I want a buddy film of Little John and Robin Hood. Which I can kind of see, but like, obviously it doesn't have the juice that Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
No, it does not.
Sean, do you have a major gripe?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's telling that... I just think it's telling that there's only one other fox in the world and they have to be together. Like, we can't do any interspecies bullshit here. And like,
So you want to see a rhino fuck a bear?
Well, look, she's like a niece of Prince John, right? She should be a lion. And it should be totally fucking cool that she's a lion. And that Marion and Robin are in love with each other. And yes, they look different. And yes, they're not like from the same animal, kingdom, or no, I don't know. Species. Thank you. But like, it has a very stick with your own kind of feel. And I think as a kid, you don't know that, but your brain does.
Mm.
And that's not even getting into the whole, like, what do these creatures eat? Because, like, if you're a rabbit, like, you want nothing to do with a fox.
Right.
Ever.
If you're those church mice.
Fucking ever. That badger's eating you.
For sure.
So what are they eating? Just a bunch of, fruit? I don't think so. They have canines. Like, okay. That's a bullshit gripe. My main gripe is
but it is interesting to think about.
Yeah. Do we ever see them eat? But yeah, it does have there's not any other foxes in this movie. And the only other fox in your world is the one that you are going to end up with, that you end up marrying. It's not very Love v. Virginia.
No, it's not. Loving Celeste.
Loving v. Virginia. Thank you.
I think my biggest issue is how abruptly the wrap up is. Like, King Richard comes in and it's just like Deus Ex Machina off screen. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Like, it goes from it's just like the most slipshod ending imaginable. You're like, what the fuck just happened? What did, like, just, oh no, they're on the chain gang now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know. I had a real issue with the just completely abrupt, nothing set up, very little resolution. Just, oh, Robin and Marion are together now, and the king came back. Cool.
He'd be Robin Hood would be killed so quickly when Richard came back. He would completely, like, pardon his brother. He would bury the truth. I mean, we're talking about the British monarchy here.
Sure.
Are they problematic?
But canonically, that's not how it happens, though.
Wait, is the British monarchy flawed? What the hell?
Nick, I didn't want to have to tell you.
We've shaken your worldview to its core now.
Hold on.
Josh and I talked a lot about this before you came on, and we decided at about the hour 20 mark that we were going to do this. I know. It happens. It happens to every guest.
Wait, what?
This is your come to Jesus moment with a monarchy.
They didn't say anything about this.
We knew you were a monarchist, and
wait. So all that stuff they were doing in India, that wasn't good?
No.
Oh, fuck.
All that stuff they were doing in Africa.
Oh my god. This is horrible news.
Josh, that's a pretty big gripe.
Yeah.
But let's talk saving graces here.
or fix this movie. How
Oh,
would you
we're gonna
it?
fix.
Yeah. Just quick hit. Like, how would you fix it? One thing. Starting with Nick, if you've got something.
Well, I loved your gripe, Josh. So based on your gripe, I would cut 8 minutes of the movie before the final 10 minutes. And then after Robin escapes from the castle, I would continue that action sequence with the prince and all the evil characters chasing him into the forest, culminating with a fight that ends with the king showing up in like a climactic battle in Sherwood Forest as the sun rises, so that the ending actually makes some sense.
Right. Sean?
You know, I think that this is probably the one time where I would say this, but I think if you're going to remake this movie and you're going to remake it for kids and animate it.
Which is apparently happening.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, no.
And the bullshit, CGI.
Oh, okay.
Live action, air quotes, hybrid remake that they're doing. Apparently they're doing that for Disney Plus with the director of Raya and the Last Dragon.
Oy.
I didn't know that, but I think that this is the one time where I would say that it's okay to do an origin story, especially if you're going for kids. Have Robin Hood, meet this team, get everybody together, have them a very simple thing that they're trying to do. 3-act the screenplay. Yeah, I don't know what the final kind of climax would be necessarily, like what they would have to do. Maybe it's just rob the treasury. But yeah, I think it would be fun to kind of get introduced to these characters and find out about them and have the team be assembled and base this more on the Merry Men.
Yeah. For me, I think you have to have something matter. Like, nothing matters, ultimately.
Right.
So,
if you could give your characters arc too, that's nice. If
that
Robin
would help
Hood,
things matter.
if Robin Hood has to change in any way and not be the same guy that he started the movie at,
because he's just the same rascal at the end that he was at the beginning.
Yeah, there's nothing that he's doing in that last 20 minutes that he didn't do at the beginning. He has no moment. Marion doesn't have to do anything.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, saving graces. What was your favorite moment or element of the film, starting with Nick?
Something I had forgotten that I thought was fun was when they're in the forest and they sing the phony King of England song. I thought there was some fun animation in there. I thought that whole sequence was a pretty good time, and that's the closest you get to feeling like a Merry Men type of situation with a bunch of a medley of people out there. So I would say that was a saving grace for me.
Right on. Sean?
I liked the moments where the Disney team got creative in terms of what they could do with these animals. Like tying Hiss in a knot, using his, the end of his tail as a propeller, I thought was really kind of smart. The elephants using their trunks as trumpets. Those types of things are great. And I never get tired of them. I never get tired of animation going what can we do here to get a joke out of this, right? Maybe there needed to be more of that. The shaggy dog blowing his hair out of his eye. Of course he would have to do that to fire. These are animals now in this anthropomorphic human world. How would they adapt creatively? And what do I not catch on the first viewing that I'm now catching now? Those types of things, I think are still really great and give it a lot of punch where maybe the scene doesn't have it. But I do think my favorite scene as a kid, and the one that I cracked up at as an adult, was the fucking football scene. I still think that's a really fun scene for Cluck just to go Jim Brown. And it's the only time where we get that fun kind of 3D spin on the animation.
Yeah.
With the rhinos leaping at her and her just juking them left and right. Man, I could have used a lot more in kind of this flat 2D world that isn't taking too many chances. And I guess like that's, Reatherman is very by the book. He's kind of this, he's going to do exactly what the company wants. But like, I thought that was like a highlight. I love like Little John kind of leading the, in drag for most of this. Or wait, he's in his weird disguise with a mustache. Like they can't tell it's Little John. They can tell it's Robin Hood.
Sir Reginald of Chutney.
Yeah, they could tell it's Robin Hood in his stork outfit, which no kid could tell. But Little John puts a funny hat and a mustache on. Suddenly, they have no idea who he is. But yeah, like I still think like that was the highlight for me. And they're playing that like college band song.
It's the I believe it's on Wisconsin. It's the Wisconsin fight song.
Great, go Badgers!
And Friar Tuck's a Badger.
Go Friar Tuck. Yeah, that I still found a lot of delight in that scene. Who was it? Like it was either Little John, it was either Prince John or the sheriff that was like on the front of that stampede as it went through a stone tower. Like absolutely smashing him to bits.
I think that was the sheriff.
Yeah, and it's funny that it went, little comedy thing. Like it's.
But I might be wrong. I might be misremembering it.
Those like elephants in the top of the tower are like, they're gonna die. They're gonna die. Here it comes. They're gonna die. Oh, it went past them. Sigh of relief. Nope, they 180'd, and now you're all fucked. Like, yeah, it's an old joke, but like the fake out got me. Yeah, I don't know. More of that would have been really great.
My favorite part is the Robin and Marion are gonna fuck shade pull.
Oh yeah,
and within earshot of a fucking of what? How old did they say Skippy is? Like 7 or 8.
7 or 8.
Yeah.
I did wonder. This is really telling, right? But they frame that carriage that we don't know what is driving that carriage when Little John hits the reins. We presume horses, but then are horses slaves in this world? We never see it. And then it cuts to the rear of the carriage and we don't see what's taking them on. But like at that moment I was like, oh, are we going to see that that they're using the elephants now because they've been cowed, or is there a woodland version of that, or who is subservient?
It should have been a reveal of naked humans.
Yep.
Yeah.
Humans are.
Yep. You know what? It should have been like 6 Mowglis.
They have the animation ready to go.
Yeah, it would have just been like copy and paste.
Yep.
That's the big reveal. Like that's the Planet of the Apes reveal, is that it's like these humans now are the slaves. Yeah, they are gonna fuck. It is very North by Northwest.
Yeah.
I mean the fact that
because doesn't Roger pull the shade down in the train car before the train enters the tunnel?
Probably. I don't remember.
I swear he pulls the train blinds down.
The one to the outside or to the inside?
Outside.
Okay. So he doesn't even want.
But I might be misremembering. I was going to rewatch it, but I didn't have the time.
That they don't get it on behind a waterfall is, staggering.
Criminal, yeah. Like, what the fuck are you guys
at the
thinking?
End of that song? Because, like,
yeah,
at the end of a Oscar
with their love growing inside of her.
Yes, when you have an Oscar nominated song, you got to get it on. I mean, Simba knew that 20 years later when he felt the love tonight. The love probably that was growing inside of her.
Guys, this has been so fun.
You knew it was going to get to this. Everybody knew it was going to get to this.
So, Nick, you thought that you would still love Robin Hood deeply after all these years spent apart. How did you ultimately end up feeling about Robin Hood upon your return these many years later?
I still liked it. I will say, for all my quibbles, I think it's still a good kids movie. It's definitely probably not top tier, but it still holds the same place in my heart because it on rewatch did not do anything like overtly horrible. Well, although certainly some things could be interpreted as such, it does not. It did okay. I was relieved that for the most part, this movie did not ruin what I thought was a fun childhood movie.
I think at the
Didn't
least,
Song of the South it.
yeah, Song of the South. I think at the least, Nick, it sounds like it reminded you of the parts that you liked as a kid.
Yeah, and I watched it
Like-
with my girlfriend. At the end, she was like, "Oh, that was a fun movie." I was like, "Okay, it wasn't just me."
Mm-hmm.
Had she not seen it?
Not in probably the same amount of time as me. Since she was a
Okay,
kid.
but she saw it as
Yeah,
a child.
she's like, "Oh, that's right. This was good."
Okay.
Like, wow. Okay.
So before we say goodbye to listeners at home, where can they find you, Nick?
Yeah, find me on Instagram __bad casino __. Find my movies on YouTube. My channel is my name, Nick D'Agostino. The first 3 Nick D'Agostinos are professional athletes in foreign countries and I think a MAGA politician. But if you find one with a picture that looks like me, that's me. And any information on my new movie is at justicethemovie.com.
And
Nice.
for our listening audience, Nick
I don't look like.
is a white guy in like a black t-shirt. So if that's what you want to find,
Yeah, yes, that's right, exactly.
and he's had braces. You can tell he's got a winning smile.
That's right. That's all. You should be able to identify me rather easily now.
And I just want to do a call to our audience. If, because unfortunately we don't have a cis hetero female on the show today, but if they do want to weigh in on the sexual allure of Robin, I would love to hear about that, because we talked a lot about Marion today, and I think the three of us have her poster up on the wall. But Josh, just let them know how to reach us if they're out there.
Yeah.
And they had a thing for Brian Blessed, or at
We
least
would
at least his voice.
Or Bedford, I think.
Brian Bedford, yeah.
So yeah, you can call into the call-in line. Area
Do it.
code 507-479-6440. Again, that's 507-479-6440. Or you can contact us on any of our social media accounts or via email, unkindrewindpod@gmail.com.
Share with us your fantasies
Yeah.
on the Unkind Rewind. After hours. That'll be behind the paywall. So whatever you want to talk about, we'll put it behind the paywall.
Sounds good to me.
Off the record.
Nick, thank you for subjecting your childhood memories and fondness for Robin Hood to the scrutiny of Unkind Rewind.
It's been an honor.
Thanks, Nick. Fun
Thanks.
chat.
And everybody, seek out Justice the Movie and Practically Tropical?
Yeah,
I can't believe I remembered that.
me neither.
That's
I have all this dumb Robin Hood shit in my brain.
It's a great
but-
title. Odalali, everybody.
Yeah, or whatever that fucking means.
Oodalali.
Odalali.
That was another installment of the Unkind Rewind, mining our childhood for content, one film from a guest's past at a time. Unkind Rewind is a Munchcasts production and can be listened to wherever you download your podcasts and watched on the Unkind Rewind YouTube channel. Music for this and every other episode of Unkind Rewind was composed by Divorcio Suave. Rate, review, like, and subscribe to Unkind Rewind on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and Good Pods. Links to all of our social media accounts are in our show notes, but you'll find us as @UnkindRewindPod on Letterboxd and nearly every social media platform, all of which can be found at our website, unkindrewind.com. you have a question, concern, complaint, or feedback, you can email the podcast at unkindrewindpod@gmail.com or call into our call-in line, area code 507-479-6440, and leave a message that can be played on air. Fans should join the Munchcast Discord to discuss this or any other episode of The Unkind Rewind with like-minded people. This dialogue may just make it into a future episode of the pod. The Unkind Rewind Patreon will be coming soon, so start squirreling that pocket change away. Thank you for listening to The Unkind Rewind.